It is mid-afternoon on Election Day 2020, and already there are reports coming out of the Philadelphia area of people experiencing and witnessing suspected voter fraud or election fraud from the voting stations around the city in Philadelphia. Reportedly, there are several different voting stations that are suddenly having problems with their voting machines, being unable to take votes. This, I guess, had taken place right after Trump had started to take some type of lead or started to gain in the election there in the state of Philadelphia. And shortly afterwards, Trump supporters going out to vote Republican were starting to be told that they weren't able to put their vote in through the voting machines, the ballot machines, and had to leave their written paper ballots in what's called an emergency box so that they could be counted later. And this was widespread, apparently, happening at a few different voting booths, voting stations around the city. There was even accounts where Republican poll watchers who are licensed by the government to actually go in and watch over the poll counting, the election vote counting, so that they can go over there and watch over that, kind of like a unbiased mediator, if you will. Now, these are people that actually hold a license certificate that are allowed to go in. Now, these certificates are good for a state. They can go into any state or any voting area within that state and watch the votes be counted. Now, the Democratic officials that are in control of counting these votes and managing these voting facilities are denying access to these poll watchers, these licensed poll watchers, telling them that they cannot come in. They will not allow them in. And in some instances, there are reports on social media where people are saying that there was even barriers put up so that some poll watchers could not get in, despite the fact that there was Democratic poll watchers allowed into these areas. Now, they're allowing the Democratic poll watchers, but they're not allowing Republican poll watchers. Now, while this isn't in itself evidence of voter corruption or election corruption, it certainly does scream that. It screams that in every way imaginable. It certainly doesn't look good. We got a couple of videos here, as you can see here. The guy getting into an argument with another gentleman at the polls. We're going to go ahead and play that right now.
You're not letting me in? Well, what? No. That's why I told you, call the police. Do it. If you legal, call the cops.
The city guy is in the bathroom. He'll be there. Call that number. Tell him to call somebody.
I have a citywide watcher certificate.
It's not for this location.
It's not for it. Is not. Is this the city of Philadelphia? This is the city of Philadelphia. This is the city of Philadelphia. This is the city of Philadelphia. You wanted to talk. You wanted to talk outside. Let's talk. I have a watcher certificate. I asked you to read the line. The line said it's good in every ward and division in the city.
Clearly, I mean, there's something going on here. It's said that if you have nothing to hide, then, or if you're not doing anything wrong, then you have nothing to hide. Well, clearly they've got something to hide because they are hiding it. Not allowing licensed poll watchers to come in and watch these votes be counted, which is approved of by the government. There's also videos that have surfaced around Twitter in which it shows what's allegedly these ballot location employees or volunteers apparently stuffing the ballot boxes for the drop-off mail-in ballots outside these voting booths. They're stuffing them with what appears to be hands full of mail-in ballots, all from the same person. And the person that took this video, from the way I understand this, had seen this person that's stuffing these boxes outside the building, working inside the building, or being a volunteer there. And that also, again, not looking good. It's only midday, and there's already these many reports coming out of the Philadelphia area, which is coincidentally Joe Biden's home state. As I said in a previous podcast, the only way the Democrats are going to be able to win this election is by cheating, and it's apparent that they may have already started just that. I'm Kevin McIntyre, and you've just listened to a Sit Down with the Podfather in 5 minutes or less.
Say to us, since it's clear that you're not corrupt and you got elected, why should people think that the system produces corrupt results when there you are?
Well, I'm not sure you should assume I'm not corrupt, but thank you for that.